How's everyone doing today? It's your boy JG Domination, and we are back here with the teams I will be considering for Madden 20's realistic NFL franchise mode. We already went through 3 different teams. By the way, these aren't my rosters, so don't bitch about no ratings. I didn't make this. But team number 1 was the Cincinnati Bengals. For those that don't remember, team number 2 was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Team number 3 was the Arizona Cardinals, and team number 4 is going to be the Miami Dolphins. Let's get into this quarterback position. So we start off with Ryan Fitzpatrick, who, in my opinion, I think he's probably going to be the starter. Let's just be real. He's going to be pretty good for 2 weeks, and then he's going to fall off a cliff. It's the same old Ryan Fitzpatrick story. It's just interesting, man. I mean, yes, he is a reliable quarterback in terms of like having one on the roster. He has longevity. He's a former starter, majority of the time a career backup. But I mean, he's a good quarterback to have on your team. I'm not saying that at all, you know, in a negative light. But then you have Josh Rosen. So of course, last video we talked about the Arizona Cardinals and how they have Kyler Murray, and you shouldn't be mad at Kyler Murray that Josh Rosen's not here. Be mad at the organization. Josh Rosen is in a rare position. He's in a second season, and he is going to be learning a new playbook. But this is an interesting opportunity because unlike another quarterback who was traded after their rookie season, DeShone Kizer, there's no Aaron Rodgers in front of him. So you're actually in a good situation where, you know, you have Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's on a 2-year deal. And let's be real, Josh Rosen's 21, entering his 22 season. Age 22 season. You have all the time in the world with Josh Rosen. He's a pretty damn good thrower of the football. But, you know, obviously he's not that mobile. He's not good against the blitz. And there are some durability questions, of course, coming mainly from college. But as a pure thrower of the football, he's pretty damn good. Nothing to argue with there. So I think Ryan Fitzpatrick will definitely start, and Josh Rosen will probably be the backup for a little bit, but trust me, they will throw him in there. And then you have Jake Rudock, who I didn't even know he was on the team. I kind of feel bad. This running back room is, you know, it's decent, nothing too crazy, but you have Kenyon Drake, and I'm just going to do a quick rant on Kenyon Drake. Not because I hate the guy or anything. I actually like him. I think he is slightly underutilized, but I'm just going to go ahead and say this now. If he doesn't perform now, I don't want to hear shit about him being underrated or underutilized or this and that, because this is his team on offense. This is his offense. If he doesn't get it done this year, I don't want to hear a damn thing about Kenyon Drake ever again, because he really wasn't that good at Alabama. I mean, he was decent in spots, but let's be real. There's a reason he never started, because of all the running backs ahead of him. And then now he gets to the NFL. Yeah, he's sitting behind, I don't know, who was it? Lamar Miller, like his rookie season. Maybe I'm a little bit behind schedule there. No, it was Jay Ajayi. And then 35-year-old Frank Gore beats you out of a starting job. Really? I mean, come on. If you're that good, you should be able to beat senior citizen Frank Gore out of a starting job. But it's your backfield, so you should be good. There's no excuses. You know, and I think Kenyon Drake will have a good year, but can we stop with the he's underrated, underutilized argument? Like, it's so boring, because he's a good running back and we know what he's capable of if he has the touches. But damn, I mean, oh my god, I've never heard this many people say that someone was underrated in my life. But anyway, we have Mark Walton, you know, local guy from Miami. He was drafted by the Bengals. He was later released. He has a lot of off the field stuff going on. Maybe this is another second chance thing that we were talking about with Josh Rosen. Maybe this is a second chance for Mark Walton. I don't know. We'll see. And then you have Kalen Ballage, who I'm just going to put this out there. He looked pretty decent at times. He actually did look solid. If Kenyon Drake is struggling, they're going to look at Kalen Ballage. Hey, he's going to end up being the guy. I'm just going to put that out there. Myles Gaskin, pretty productive college running back. We'll see what he does in the NFL. He does have a lot of mileage on him. I believe he was a 4-year starter, so It'll be interesting to see what he does and how much action he gets. And then you have Rochelle Shell. Yeah, I don't even know who that is. But yeah, then you got Chandler Cox, who you drafted. He was a fullback in the 7th round. Hey, fullbacks are underutilized in offenses, but hopefully he gets utilized. And then we're at the wide receiving core. It's a pretty decent wide receiving core to start off with. Words are just really difficult for me today. You have Kenny Stills, who's basically a deep threat. You have Devontae Parker, who has kind of been a disappointing receiver in his career, man. I think people expected more out of him, and it just hasn't really worked out that well. He's got size. He's got speed. He's a solid athlete. He just... I don't know, man. He just can't put it together. And you have Albert Wilson, who's a pretty good slot receiver. Jakeem Grant, who last season proved that he's more than just a glorified special teamer. And then you have Preston Williams, who you drafted from Colorado State. He's got the size, and we'll see if he can emerge as a wide receiver on this team. Then you have Ricardo Lewis, who was with the Cleveland Browns, I'm pretty sure, at one point. And now he's here. We'll see if he can emerge. And then you have Isaiah Ford, who's been on the team for a little bit. So this is a pretty decent wide receiver room, at least based on these ratings. But overall, like, it's decent. You know, no one that really stands out, but a solid depth. Then you look at the tight end room. It's a pretty good one. You got Dwayne Allen, who's more of a blocker at this stage of his career, but he can catch. Mike Gesicki, who's a good athlete, but hasn't really shown that he can be that dude as a tight end. Then you have Nick O'Leary, who's a solid blocker, another one of those underrated tight ends. Decent, decent hands as well. Clive Walford, who I believe he played with Oakland before coming here, so hey, he's on a roster. He's got a chance to do something. And these two tight ends, I mean, that's the long snapper, but I don't really know about this guy, so I'm not going to say. And then at left tackle, you have one of the better young left tackles in football, Laramie Tunsil, who is probably this team's best player, for being honest. And then Zach Stirrup, yeah, he's ass. I've seen him play a few times. He's not good. And then Stephanie, I don't know much about. And then right here, you know, at left guard, you got Michael Dieter, who's probably going to start. He was solid at college for Wisconsin. We'll see what he does here in the NFL. And then you have Jesse Davis, who really isn't that good. And then Kyle Fuller, who I don't know much about. At center, you have Daniel Kilgore, who... he's kind of a lower-end starting center as well. I believe he's played for the 49ers. I think he was traded to the Falcons once. I don't know. I lost count with this guy. And then you have Marquise Shakir. I don't know much about him. And then at right guard, you know, no Josh Sitton, so it is Isaac Asiata and Chris Reed, who, I'm going to be honest, they're both basically career backups, so we'll see what they can do here. And then Jordan Mills at right tackle, pretty good run blocker. Pass blocking's a little suspect. Isaiah Prince, who, of course, was a starter at Ohio State. We'll see if he can emerge from this group. And then you have Demetrius Rainey. I don't really know much about him. Then we get to the defense. You know, we got Charles Harris right here at defensive end. Kind of a slow start to his career, but he is entering year 3. Maybe this is the year he just breaks out. Because let's be honest, this pass rushing group is not a good one. So he'll probably have to be the breakout guy. And then Kendrick Norton, who is entering his 2nd season from Miami. He's a local product. He's nothing too special there. Then we get to the right end position. This is why I'm saying, like, he has to emerge as a pass rusher, because everyone around him in terms of edge rushers are just ass. Nate Orchard isn't really that good. Jonathan Woodard, he hasn't really been that good. I mean, Nate Orchard's been okay as a rotational guy, not a guy that I'm comfortable with starting. And then Francis Cologne, I don't know. I'm just not comfortable with him either. I don't really think he's that good either. Haven't really seen a bunch of him either, so there's that. But this team did sign as an undrafted free agent Jonathan Ledbetter from Georgia. You know, I think he's more of an interior guy. He played in a 3-4 defense, but I don't know. Maybe at the NFL level, he's a better 4-3 guy. And then at defensive tackle, it's a pretty good room. I like this defensive tackle room. You got Christian Wilkins, who is a pretty productive college player. You have Davin right here from LSU. He was pretty good last season. And you have Akeem Spence, who's been a solid veteran, for the majority of his career. Vincent Taylor, not too bad either, a solid depth guy. And then Adolphus Washington, he's okay, I guess. And then the linebacking core, it's better, man. It's better than it was 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I said that this was a shit linebacking core. And, they've drastically improved it. It's almost like the Dolphins listened to me or something. But, you have Jerome Baker right here. A great athlete. Had a pretty good rookie year. I think he'll build off of it. Mike Cole was pretty solid in spots as well. And then Pete Robertson, I don't know much about. Raekwon McMillan, another one of those guys, man, who I absolutely like in this linebacking core. Same thing with Chase Allen. He's a good athlete. When he's played, he's looked pretty good, but he really just plays special teams. And then that Quentin guy, I don't know much about. And then Kiko Alonso, I think he's overrated, but he's been a solid linebacker up to this point. And then they have Andrew Van Ginkel, who is more of a hybrid linebacker. A better fit for Matt Patricia's defense. But, Brian Flores is also from the New England Patriots coaching tree, so maybe he'll find ways to get him on the field. And that Kyle guy I don't really know much about. Then you look at the cornerback group. Xavier Howard got a bag, and he made his first Pro Bowl, and he was in a three-way tie for most interceptions last season. And then also you have Bobby McCain, who, he's decent. He's a decent corner. Eric Rowe, a decent corner. Torrey McTyer, decent corner. Cordrea Tankersley. I thought he'd be a little bit better than what he's shown, but, there's still time for him to grow. These two corners I don't know much about, so secondary, it is what it is. Minkah Fitzpatrick, I think he's a good player. So hear me out. I think he's a good player. A bit overhyped coming out. And again, this goes back to the Kenyon Drake thing, not the Kenyon Drake thing, but this goes back to what I said in the last video about Deontay Thompson. Just because you went to Alabama doesn't mean anything. Minkah Fitzpatrick, I think, is going to be a really good player in the NFL. But it's like last rookie season, outside of that game against Minnesota, I mean, there was a lot to be desired, man. I think I was just expecting more. And you look at Jesse Bates, who came out of nowhere. He went to Wake Forest. You look at Justin Reed, who kind of came out of nowhere. I think he went to Stanford. And then you look at Derwin James from Florida State, who ended up just being a lot better than Minkah Fitzpatrick in year one. I guess I was just expecting more, and we didn't get it. But I still think the future is bright for him. You also have TJ McDonald, who, he's been solid in his career. And then Walt Aikens, pretty decent in his career as well. And then you look at Rashad Jones. Rumors about him potentially being traded. I think he's in the final year of his contract. He's been a pretty good player up to this point. I think the age is slowly starting to catch up to him. And then Maurice Smith, I don't really know a whole lot about. They have Jason Sanders as their kicker, and then Matt Hawk as their punter. But this is a pretty solid team, for a rebuilding purpose. You got a young quarterback. You got some receivers that could possibly emerge. The running back room is a weird one, but interesting. You definitely need to work on the offensive line. The tight end room is actually pretty good as well. You need pass rushers. But, probably need to get a couple of defensive backs. Definitely another safety. Probably another corner as well. But this is a pretty fun team for a rebuild. Definitely, they're on here for a reason, because I would consider them. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed, and peace.